I am probably the richest I have ever been in any Dark and Darker season right now. And it is pretty much all because of this ridiculous money-making method I found. So a cool thing they added this season is they added the workshop. So you can do a bunch of cool stuff here. You can like increase the rarity of items, you can like craft items, but another really cool thing you can do, and the focus of this, is that you can scrap items. So here I have a purple halberd, and it'll give me the amount of scrap equal to the amount of slots that it takes, right? So 10 slot halberd gives me 10 purple scrap. And it also costs a certain amount of gold per slot. So for epics specifically, I believe it's 5 gold per slot, and it would give me 10 scrap. And obviously the halberd would be no more. Now, if we just look at purple scrap on market, so you have scraps, go into epics, you can see, okay, they're hovering around 50. And I'll tell you from experience, they tend to bounce between as high as 60 and as low as like 40. That's the general area that this seems to go around in, and it's a really, really volatile market. It bounces around all the time. If I just keep refreshing, you'll just see people are buying and selling. Of course, it's not doing it as I say that, but here, the one just sold, right? So this is a really volatile market. The other scrap markets are also pretty volatile, just not as volatile as epic scrap specifically. And the reason for that has a lot to do with, mostly to do with Arena, how epic is the highest rarity that you can bring into Arena, so people are constantly buying epics, constantly selling epics, constantly utilizing these workshop features to make the best Arena kit. You can imagine why this is such a crazy market. But you realize there's a lot of money to be made here. So with epic scrap being at around 50, if you go into back slots, which is all cloaks, right? You start to see things ranging from 200 to 220, basically. Let's just say 220 as a rough estimate. And you take 220, divide it by 6, because that is the amount of slots in a cloak, and you're seeing that at 220, you're evaluating every scrap that it would scrap into at 36.6 gold. Now, it's a little bit more because you have to pay to scrap 5 per slot on epics, and then you also have to pay to list a stack of scrap, right? And based on my rough math here, that is around plus 7 gold in total. So you get to, the math works out so that every single slot on an item that is like 6 slots, like a 220 item that's 6 slots, for cloaks for example, this cloak right here, is evaluated at 43. But you can resell that scrap at around 50 per. So you're starting to realize how ridiculous and simple this is I can just take that cloak, go over to the workshop, and it doesn't matter where you scrap it, by the way, you can scrap it anywhere. Scrap this for a cost of 30, and then if I have a full stack of this, I can resell that full stack at 50 per. Obviously you can see it's bouncing around, but trust me, 50 with like, at the time of recording this, 50 is like really safe. It'll sell in a couple minutes. Chest pieces, backs, and leggings specifically, those are all 6 slot armor pieces, right? So I can do 50 minus 7 times 6, because, sorry, the 50 comes from what scrap is evaluated at right now, and I reach that to break even on a 6 slot piece would be 258. It would have to be listed at 258, right? So the obvious consequence of that is you can buy pretty much, for me right now, I could buy roughly the first 9 pages and scrap it all for profit. So then you start to realize, like, this is just silly, because I'm only looking at cloaks right now. You see chest pieces, you can buy like a lot of these. You see leggings, you can buy a lot of these. And obviously there's some, like, you're going through more and more effort to make slimmer and slimmer margins as you get deeper into these pages. But there's so much, like that's just free money, and someone's already sold it. Someone's already bought it. But you start to realize, like, there's so many of these pages, like feet, head, and hands. That's like these are all 4 slots, right? So then you do, like, what is this? 119 divided by 4. This is every scrap from these boots is 29 gold. Maybe like it's like 35 gold for like the costs to scrap it and relist the items and whatever. But whatever, that's free money, right? And then you can do this for everything. You can go into secondary and primary weapons. Here's primary weapons. This is a 55 flanged mace. 55 divided by 3. It's free money. It's just free money. Even like you'll see a lot of daggers here. This dagger's not worth it. But like as you like here's the real tech for weapons specifically. Go into axe. You're gonna see a bunch of 3 slots. So you just take whatever price you're seeing a lot of, divide it by 3, 100 divided by 3, that's like 33-ish, right? And then like, it's just silly, it's just free. And then you go into swords. You go into swords. Again, swords are all 3 slots except for long sword, which is 4. And I think like crystal sword is also 4. But like, it's just more. Like you just divide everything here by 3 and buy it all up. So like, what is it, 99 divided by 3. Oh yeah, that's like basically 100 divided by 3. It's 33 gold, and then you just go into bows, right? Bows. These are all 3 slots except for longbow. So longbow's 4 slots, you could do the 4 slot math for that, right? Go into magic stuff is the other one I really like looking at, because these are all 4 slots. These are all 4 slots when you think about it. Even though they have like weird shapes, they're all 4. Like the books are also going to be here. Crystal sword's also going to be here. It's just all 4, so just divide the price you see by 4 and decide whether or not it's worth. Firearms, this is just hand cannons, I believe. It's 5 slots. Or, sorry, is it 5 slots or 4 slots? Let me see really quick. It's 5 slots, so everything under 200-ish is worth it here. That was just quick math off the top of my head, but you can do the math yourself. And then another really fun one is shields, because it's 6 slots. So, like, yeah, these are all vastly worth. You can treat them like they're chess pieces, cloaks, and leggings. And by going, we just looked at chess pieces, cloaks, and leggings earlier, and we said it was 258. Like, these are, like, I just snatched just all of these. There's so much. There's just so much money. And don't worry, the point is not lost on me. Like, this video's popularity will have a negative correlation with how, like, efficient this money-making method is. Because, like, you know, if more people are buying up all of these purple items that are like relatively cheap because they can be scrapped into more, then there's going to be slimmer and slimmer margins, right? Everybody's going to be buying all of these cloaks that are like free money essentially, right? But here's the thing, listen close. If you have a billion purple scrap, well, okay, if you see the video and it's like sub 1,000 views, I buy a bunch of purple scrap, share the video. The popularity of this method will go up, and you know what else will go up? Purple scrap. It's like actually fake how free this is. First, like the money-making method itself is pretty free, but it's just like, this could scale out of control when you really think about it. Okay, so a good question is how efficient this method is over time, right? So, like, yeah, there's a lot of money-making methods. Like, you could sell gold purses for money, technically, because people buy those for whatever reason, but, like, you don't want to do that because it's slow, of course, right? And so here I did a 10-minute test of just buying all of the items that I see are worth. I'd start with chest pieces, then I did backs and leggings. Now I'm moving on to boots, and I'm just snatching up everything, as you can imagine. And I should note, I started with 100k and like 400 gold, so like 100,400 gold. And here you'll see the profit I make. I'm onto. I bounced back to cloaks and chest pieces a little bit because people started listing lower stuff again. And here you can see I go to the scrapping section, which is really tedious. Also because, like, it splits it up into separate stacks, even though, of course, all the purple stacks up to 50. And this whole test was 10 minutes, but you'll see that, like, because I spend some time, like, after listing it, I just keep refreshing the page for epic scrap so that I can, like, see where my stuff is among it. If you just, instead of that, if you just, like, start buying more and scrapping more items, you definitely get a higher, like, amount, and but here you'll see all of the profit I make. And it nicely worked out to where it was a single page worth of scrap, so that'd be 500 scrap total, 10 market slots, right? You can see my stuff listed, and already one sold that, like, I think, like, soon after I listed it. And I also like this time-lapse. This is, like, 4 times speed, by the way, but I like this time-lapse because you can see how bouncy and, like, volatile this market is, and it's just really nice to look at, honestly. But, here, all of my stuff sells, and you'll see that after 10 minutes, I'm at 104,000. So it was like 3.8k in profit in 10 minutes. So what is it, like 3.8 times 6, right? That's 22.8k an hour if you're like crazy, I guess, and like do this for an entire 60 minutes. Probably more efficient if you didn't like stock the scrap page as after I did for like the sake of the time lapse, right?